A woman has gone viral for whining about her job. This clip, thanks, as always, to our friends over at Libs of TikTok. Everybody is making fun of this woman. Here's why.
I know I'm probably just being so dramatic and annoying, but this is my first job, like my first 9-to-5 job after college, and I'm in person, and I'm commuting in the city, and it takes me forever to get there. There's no way I'm going to be able to afford living in the city right now, so that's off the table. Like, duh! If I was able to walk to work, and it'd be fine, but I'm not. So it literally takes me, like, I leave here, like, I get on the train at 7:30, and I don't get home till, like, 6:15 earliest, and then, like, I don't have time to do anything. I want to shower, eat my dinner, and go to sleep. I don't have time or energy to cook my dinner either. Like, I don't have energy to work out. Like, that's out the window. Like, I'm so upset. Oh my God. Nothing to do with my job at all, but just like the 9-to-5 schedule in general is crazy. Being in the office 9 to 5, like if it was remote, you get off at 5 and you're home and everything's fine. But like I'm not home. It takes me long to get home, and like people that drive to the office, like you don't get off at 5. And I know it could be worse. I know I could be working longer, but like I literally get off, it's pitch black. Like I don't have energy. How do you have friends? Like how do you have time to like meet like a guy? I don't know. Like how do you have time for like dating? Like I don't have time for anything, and I'm like so stressed out, and I'm also getting my period, so that's why I'm all emotional. But like, am I so dramatic? It's fine.
Why are people making fun of her? Everything she said was right. She opens up, she says, hey, I'm probably going to sound really annoying and overly dramatic here, but anyway, I'm going to complain about my job because the cities are too expensive to live in now, and it feels unnatural for me, a lady, to be working in exactly the same way that a man is, which is true for most of human history. That would never have happened. But because of feminism, we have to pretend that men and women are exactly the same. She goes, and I don't really like that. That doesn't make me feel good or normal in any way. And then I got to commute all the way back, and I do this job. I don't really like this job, and I'm not getting paid enough, so I can't live closer, so it makes it even harder. Then I come back, and I don't really have much time for a life, and it's very hard to date. It is very hard to date for young people, especially in this stupid feminist society and mal-ordered economy. And then she says, and by the way, you know, I'm also just, I'm about to menstruate, so I'm probably just being irrational, which is also probably true. I give her not a 10 out of 10, but a 9 out of 10 in the arguments that she's making. The part that people are really making fun of is that she's complaining about working a 9 to 5, because a lot of people work a lot more than a 9 to 5. Though her argument is, well, it's more than a 9 to 5 because I got to leave my house an hour and a half before I actually get there, and I get back an hour and a half later. So it ends up being not an 8-hour job, but more like a 10 or 11-hour job. And that's true. But even on that point, I think she's getting at something really important. Right now, go to puretalk.com/Knowles. Pure Talk recently announced that they would alleviate $10 million in veteran debt by Veterans Day. Thanks to your support last week, Pure Talk is 53% toward that goal with 2 weeks to go. Now, just think about this. We have a 100% volunteer military, men and women who raise their hands to sacrifice for our country. And when they're done serving, they come back to a tight job market and an outrageous cost of living expenses. That is one of the many reasons that I'm so happy a private company like Pure Talk has jumped in to help. When you switch to Pure Talk's lightning fast 5G network, they will donate a portion of every new order to this noble cause. You can make a real difference just by choosing superior cell service. Pure Talk's plans start at just $20 a month, offering unlimited talk, text, more data, and a mobile hotspot. Just go to puretalk.com/Knowles, KNWLES, to make the switch. Let's rally together and show our unwavering support for our veterans. Go to puretalk.com/Knowles. Switch to Pure Talk today. It is the right move, and it's the American way. It is important to do your job with purpose. Many people listening right now do not work 9 to 5. Many people listening right now, maybe most, don't work just 8 hours a day. They work 9 or 10 or 11 or 12. I couldn't tell you the last time I worked 8 hours a day. But then again, I can't tell you the last time I worked because my job doesn't really feel like work. Some of the time it feels like work, but a lot of the time it doesn't, because I'm doing something that I feel is purposeful and has a meaning, and I enjoy it. Or at the very least, even if I'm not actively enjoying it at any given moment, I'm deriving some deal of satisfaction and gratification from it. And this can be true of any job. You can consecrate any kind of work, even the sort of work that elites would sneer at and say is meaningless or drudge work or menial. No, you can consecrate that work to God. You can find profound meaning in that. I mean, a classic example of this is if all of the journalists suddenly disappeared from the earth tomorrow, nothing would change. If all of the plumbers or sanitation workers disappeared from the earth, society would come to a grinding halt within about 12 hours. There's deep meaning in that, even though in our society, we deny such a thing. And we pretend that the only work that matters is, I don't know, Hollywood or journalists or some wacko academics in their ivory towers. But no, there has to be meaning there. But so the issue that she's complaining about is not just, my job is annoying sometimes, which is an issue that every single person who has ever lived will deal with. The issue that she's complaining about is the dearth of meaning, which ties right back in with what we were talking about when it comes to Speaker Johnson. If you think that there's no point to life, that we're just here to feel pleasure at any given moment, you're going to be miserable most of the time because you got to work. You got to work at your job. You got to work on your personal relationships. You got to work in your home. You got to work. By the sweat of our brow, we will have our food. If you think there is a purpose, though, which is, okay, I'm not just going to date aimlessly, I'm going to get married. And I'm not just going to be in a partnership like the liberals talk about today, but I'm going to have a real family and I'm going to have kids if I'm blessed to have kids. And I'm going to raise those kids and I'm going to do so for a purpose because I think that we're here to be fruitful and multiply and to flourish in our communities and to pursue the good and to glorify God. You're going to have a much easier time. And that 8-hour job is going to feel a lot shorter. And that 12-hour job is going to feel like an 8-hour job. And you're not going to be concerned about all the time you feel you're wasting. In fact, you're going to feel like there isn't enough time at all. Man, that was a great clip, huh? Wasn't it? I agree. Make sure that you ring the bell. Subscribe to the Michael Knowles YouTube channel. We'll see you next time.